Can you guys hear me now? There you are. Much better. Now I got to start all over again. We can't hear you guys. Couldn't hear me. You can't hear the great intro. All right. So I guess we'll take this from the top. So, of course, for those of you who don't know me, I'm gonna start this the proper way. See, that's what it is. We have a new design here today. I don't know if you guys like it or not. Here we go. We're going to show you our first. Oop, wrong one. So, of course, for those of you who are just joining us for the first time, my name is Joe Vollano. I am your host and guiding light through all the craziness that's going on in the city. Like I said before, you guys could not hear me. I have been looking forward to this show for the last, let's say, 3 years. Because today we are going to talk about the man, the myth, and the legend, my hero here in the city of Meriden. And that is this man right here. This is my man, Mr. Guy Scafe, the former city manager of the city of Meriden. How this gentleman ever came to be city manager is still the biggest mystery of all to me. But I am so glad that he was our city manager. Because this man, even at the threat of being fired, still told the council to go fuck themselves. That's what he did. He is my hero. He did not care. He did what was right. He found corruption in this city, and he exposed it and was fired for it. And we're going to get into all that because tomorrow night, the city council will hold a special city council meeting to vote on the payoff for this man. Because Mr. Scafe, as rightfully so he should have done, he filed a federal lawsuit against the city of Meriden. And it looks like he is about to get paid. He's going to be making more money. More money than I got. And we're going to go over that. We're going to go over what he's going to get, where it's going to come from, all the great things. But I think what still is the happened, I think the big question is the city council and is the city of Meriden going to try to seal the records? Is the city of Meriden and the legal department going to try to hide what was happening in this city during his tenure? What did he find out? Now, if you've read the original complaint, it's very broad on what he found. And he found ethical violations from city council members. He found financial and ethical violations on some of the staff of the city of Meriden. And he was bringing it all to light. And when they realized that in a couple of days he was going to release all this information, he was immediately fired. They rushed that through so quick. And of course it was on partisan lines. Every Democrat voted to oust the city manager, who was actually for the first time doing the job. And we're going to get into more details of this because I absolutely love this story. This is everything that's wrong and what's right in the city of Meriden. This man right here that you're looking at is my hero because he was doing what was right on behalf of the town, on behalf of the citizens, and most importantly, the taxpayers. This is the man who did it. Now, will all of his hard work, will it be known by the public what happened? I say it probably won't. I don't see how Democrats will ever let these notes be unsealed. I think this, and I said this 3 years ago when they fired him, that they would do everything in their power to make sure that nobody lets the facts see the light of day. And it will cost the city taxpayers a boatload of money. And I'm guaranteeing it's going to be over $1 million. It's going to be over $1 million. Because remember, they're not only going to have to pay this guy off, they're going to have to, we have an outside law firm handling this case. So we have a law firm from Hartford that is running this case. And this has been going on for 3 years. You can only imagine how much money we've paid to them so far. And I have no doubt in my mind that the city is going to be responsible for paying Mr. Scafe's attorneys also. So we're going to go over the case. We're going to go over what the judge said. Because remember, this went to mediation. And the judge pointed out a bunch of good things that are very interesting and things that I've been saying for a long time. So now we just need to figure out how to hold the city council accountable and making sure they do what's right on behalf of you and me and every other taxpayer and citizen to make sure that they are holding transparency at the top priority in this case, and they're going to let the public see what this case was all about and let us make the determination on our own. So let's dive right on into this. Of course, if you always want to be on the show, it's always great to have you here. So if you want to call in, it's 203-679-9610. I know all you council people are sitting out there watching. City manager, you're more than welcome to call in also. Give us your thoughts on this. I know you don't want to put official comment on there before the vote's put out there, but give the people a good sense of where things are at. So if you guys want to call in, that's the number, 203-679-9610. Or if you want to email us, straighttalkjv@gmail.com. And of course, our chats are always up and running, so you could always feel free to jump on the chat here. And always put your opinion on here. It's always a good thing. I see everyone saying their hellos. So hello to everybody. I hope you guys like the new banners. I kind of getting bored of the old ones. And look at that right there. And we're going to leave that up there because I actually enjoy that. So I was playing with the system here, and I found some new things to go on. So that little spinny, I like that. So at least people know, because I had one comment that they didn't know what the show was called as I was sitting here giving it. So there you go. Now you always know what it is. Straight Talk. So it's basically pretty simple. But so let's talk about Mr. Scafe. Now, like I said at the beginning of the show, I don't know, even to this day, how Guy Scafe was ever hired in the city of Meriden. For a city that's as liberal and corrupt as it is, to bring this man who, when I looked at his resume, I was like, wait a minute. This guy is no way going to go along with everyone else. No way. This was an independent guy. All of his previous positions, he's been a very straightforward guy. And he's a no-nonsense guy. And he doesn't back down. So how he ever got through the vetting process and became city manager, still to me is mind-boggling. I'm glad it happened. But it's still a mystery on how it did. So Mr. Scafe comes in. And Mr. Scafe starts off just like everybody else, and he's just learning the systems and everything. And he comes across a budget, and he's coming across and he's looking at different accounts. And one of the first things that he finds is that there are small accounts open for projects that were done 20 years ago. But they were still being funded. And this falls strictly on two people. Larry Kenzier, the former city manager, and Mike Lupkus, who was the city finance director at the time, who happened to be no other than in the finance department down in Bridgeport during Ganem's time. And everybody knows what happened with Ganem. He went to jail for corruption. So as always, like we were talking about with the emergency dispatch system, center, Meriden for some reason loves to pull Bridgeport's problems and bring them here to Meriden. Why, I have no idea. Why? Because they worked in Bridgeport? You took Mike Lupkus, and then you took Price. But that's here or there. So Guy Scaife finds all these accounts open, being funded. Where the hell this money went to is still a mystery to me, and I still haven't gotten answers to it. Where did that money go to? And why were those accounts open? To me, I strongly believe they were a slush fund, and they were payoffs for their special interests and to enrich themselves. That's my opinion on it. But they were immediately closed when he found them. And then he began to start digging a little bit more. And the more he dug, the more red flags popped up. But they didn't care about that. No. The city council didn't care about that. The city council decided to care when it came to them. When Rhodes and arrows started pointing at some of them. And that's when the shit hit the fan. That's when it hit the fan. When Guy Scaife started targeting them because he found real serious ethical violations. That is when, it wasn't even feelings, Linda. It wasn't hurt feelings. They were scared. That council at the time was scared shitless of what this man was capable of. Because even during, like I said at the beginning, even when they threatened him to be fired, he did not care. In fact, at his firing event that happened at the city council meeting, he told them. Because the public stood up and said, no, we do not want this man fired. And even he said during that meeting, if anyone remembers, he said, whether or not I'm here today, I'm either fired today or here tomorrow. If I'm here tomorrow, none of my investigations will stop. You weren't going to scare him. You weren't going to bully him. And God, how we need that kind of leadership here today. That is what we need. We need that type of leadership. Yeah, Dan, we don't even have time to get into Juliet or Wilma. Juliet with the whole Penrose. And those conflicts of interest, we can't even get into that today. We'd be here for an hour just on that. But this man brought a lot of stuff to light that I'm afraid the citizens of Meriden will never know about. And that is a shame. But everybody could be at that meeting tomorrow night. Now, I still haven't found out whether I can't find it anyway. I think it's virtual tomorrow. I don't believe it's going to be in person. Why would they try to make this thing in person? They don't want the public there. But what you can do is jump on the link tomorrow night and voice your opinion. Now, this is a special meeting tomorrow night. You could only speak on the issue at hand. And this, my friends, is the issue at hand. They are going to do this virtually and try to sweep it under the rug as quickly as possible. But we need to hold every single politician accountable if they do try to sweep this under the rug. You as a taxpayer, you as a citizen, have the right to know what the hell is going on. And if these guys are all about transparency, then there should be no reason why these records should be sealed. So as taxpayers of this city, we've paid for it. We paid these lawyers' bills. We're paying Mr. Scafe's payout. We're paying his attorney's fees. It is so important to make sure, yes, Lisa, the truth to come out. Now, if they come to be false, let us figure that out. But what happens if they're true? What happens if they're true? Then what? Should those people not be held accountable for it? Just because they might not be here anymore, just because Juliet might not be here, just because Mike Lupkus might not be here, doesn't mean they can't be held accountable for it. They should be. Everybody, even former council members who have found to have been doing wrong, should be held accountable. And every single city council member should be in strong support for that. I don't want to hear, I just want to put this behind us and let's move forward. No, I'm not willing to move forward. Because if you're trying to tell me to put this behind us and move forward, that means you know something that you don't want us to know. Let us decide whether or not we want to put this behind us and move forward by reading the facts and reading what his dispute was. And listen, he's going to file his briefs. He filed his pretrial briefs, and the city filed theirs in rebuttal. Let us read both sides. Let us read both sides and make up come to our own conclusion. That's how it should work. Let us decide on our own. We are not children. We are not peasants of royalty. We live in America, and we have the right to know what our government is doing, whether it's right or wrong. And this case, like I said, I've been waiting to do this show for 3 years. And that day has finally come. The truth shall set you free. And if council truly believes that they were in the right, if city employees believe they were in the right, then you should have nothing to fear from letting these records be seen by everybody. So we'll find out. We'll find out tomorrow night. We'll find out where our counselors stand on transparency. Because I tell you what, it's election year. If I see one council member turn around that did not vote for transparency, come out and say, oh, well, I'm all for transparency. You're full of shit. Why didn't you let us see the guy's Scafe records? If you're such a champion for transparency, why are you trying to hide things? So, excuse me. So the first thing that was ever filed, and again, and I'm not going to go through the FIA awards. Excuse me. But so he was here, for those of you who don't know who Guy Scafe is, let me give you a little backstory who he is. So he was here from September of 2016 to December of 2017. And like I said, he was fired for no cause, as they are allowed to do. But the problem that they did wrong was how quickly they did it. One, and if you follow the timeline on who was involved in it, it'll raise a lot of questions. And I think that's the problem that not only I had, but this is the same problem that the judge who mediated this came up with the same issues. And we're going to go through all that. So I had unfortunately, my printer behind me is not working for some reason. So I have everything on my computer here. And I have a bunch of different screens open. So if it makes you look like I'm looking at my screen, that's why. I had to put everything on here. We are. So he offered. So in his complaint, he suggested that he offered. Well, it was actually a fact. He offered evidence that tells two different versions of a story that caused the city to terminate the plaintiff's employment, rendering the question which version is more credible, which is always it. So, like I said, both sides were able to put their stories forward. So again, if we were talking about transparency is there. If you just let the people decide, which side they find more credible. But to let us read it. Where was the next one? See, I tried to highlight some of these, but for some reason my things came off. So here's Judge Shea, who is the one that oversaw the mediation of this case. She noted that both parties, like I said, told two different versions. She also referenced that just 2 months before he was fired, he received a raise. So the city came back and said, well, we weren't going to fire him. Or we were going to fire him ahead of time anyways. But other evidence showed that was not the case. They were never going to fire him. In fact, just 2 months before they fired him, they gave him a 2% raise. And she stated that as of that time, there was evidence that a majority of the council members supported the plaintiff. I mean, how can you not? You can't give him a raise 2 months before you terminate him, and then just sit there and say, oh, we were going to fire him anyways. But then, and this is a great part that she points out, but then came the reports from Scafe raising ethical concerns about two sitting members of the council. So just when he raised ethical concerns about two members of the council, which was Batista and Castro, shit hit the fan. And as she stated, within days, the council members voted to terminate him. And this is enough to allow a reasonable juror to conclude that he would not have been terminated, but for this report. So if you're looking at the timeline, of what's going on here, they give him a raise 2 months prior. He closed all those accounts, and he's holding Mike Lupkus responsible and accountable for it. Juliet was being held accountable. In fact, she resigned. Rightfully so, she should have. She should have resigned a long time ago. But that's not the straw that broke the camel's back. As the judge said, within days of things pointing towards city council members, within days, he was fired. Why? What was in that report? What are in those reports that he filed that so swiftly the council said we need to get rid of him immediately? Have you seen the council ever move this fast on anything? Even right now, with their whole racial justice bullshit they're trying to push. Have you ever seen them move this fast? Within days of a report coming out about ethical issues with two council members, this man was gone. Because we all know it wasn't going to stop there. This was only the tip of the iceberg. I'm sure there is so much more that was coming our way. And he alluded to that. He alluded to that during that speech that he gave during his termination proceedings at council. If he was going to be here tomorrow, everything would go on exactly as it was going on today, which means he did not care. He was putting the people, the city of Meriden, over politics. That's what he was doing. He was doing right versus wrong. And he got fired for it. But I think he must have known that he was going to get paid for it too. He knew he was going to get paid. And his payday has arrived. Because we have become complacent. And our officials do not care about what we think. They're going to do what's in their own best interest. Our representatives do not represent us for most part. A majority of them do not. And this has been going on for so long. They were so arrogant. They figured they could do whatever they want because nobody was going to come after them. Until that man sat in that city manager seat. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an opportunity here. We have an opportunity to have your voices heard tomorrow night. And if they do try to suppress all this information from us, it is your obligation to make sure you vote these fuckers out. That is your obligation. That is your duty as a citizen of Meriden. We need to hold these people accountable. If they try to hide wrongdoings from people that work in this city that collect your taxes, you better be ready to hold them accountable. There are very few moments in your life where you will sit there and look back and say, did I do the right thing? This is it. Am I going to help turn this city around by exposing the wrongdoings, holding those people accountable that did them, and then moving on in this city in a positive way? I told you to put the kids to bed. This isn't a kid-friendly show. We talk about real things going on here. And I don't sugarcoat anything. And I tell you what, any counselor, any, that agrees to seal records, I don't even care if it's part of a broader deal, should be held responsible. If sealing the records is part of this deal, everybody should vote no. Now, do I think he deserves the money? Yeah. Yeah, when I first said that, I said he was going to be around the 3.5 million. I said he was going to be around 3.5 million. That's the number I had envisioned, just based off his age and how long he could work, and plus everything else, plus lawyer fees and everything. I said this whole thing is going to cost around 3.5 million. So I'm wondering what his payoff is and then what our expenses are going to be on top of it. And I bet it comes pretty damn close. So city Democrats have cost the city taxpayers at least, I'm going to say $2 million. We'll wait to see what the final judgment is tomorrow night. But I think when all is said and done, the city of Meriden, the Democrats in the city of Meriden, because not a single Republican voted to fire him. In fact, Republicans were pretty happy with him. And 2 months prior to him being fired, Democrats were pretty happy with him also. So if the city of Meriden has to pay out, if the taxpayers have to pay out $2 million, we better get something for that. And that better be information. Or else, how much more money are we wasting now? Because when Ken Morgan, the fire chief, took over as city manager, as acting city manager, he rescinded a lot of things. A lot of things that Guy Scafe put in place, he took away. Hell, he even brought Juliet back. But that's for another day. That just shows his judgment, which is why I say, listen, Ken Morgan is a great fire chief. He sucked at being a city manager. In fact, he sucked so bad that when I sat there and started questioning some of his judgments at city council meetings, his wife absolutely flipped out on me out in the hallway. In fact, so bad that he had to have a police officer had to come and get her away from me because she was not happy that I was questioning her husband. Because I delivered facts that were undisputable. Because he was a horrible city manager. And everything that Guy Scafe was doing, he was trying to rescind. And he laid the groundwork for business as usual, getting back to business as usual before Guy Scafe was there. That's what happened. Unbelievable. Tomorrow night, I think Linda put the link up there, or at least how to get to it. Everyone must be on that tomorrow night, and everyone must write in the comments. Make sure it's put on the record on what you want, which is to make sure these records are not sealed. Whatever they're going to give him, fine. I'm okay with that. Because, you know what, in my opinion, if we get the information, it's so much more valuable than the money at this point. So give him the money. Give us the information. That's what I care about. And it's on the city website now. So you can go save the link and make sure that you're on it. Because I tell you what, if we let them get away with this, what else are we gonna let them get away with? At some point, we as a public have to turn around and say enough is enough. We have to. If not, you can't bitch and complain that city leadership and city representatives are not listening to what you're saying. This meeting should have been in public. This meeting should have been at Lincoln. There is no reason why this meeting should be held on Zoom. It's too important. But they want to try, they love to hide behind their computers. You can. Linda, absolutely right. Send an email to your counselors. Send it to every counselor that come tomorrow. Do not vote for it if it is going to be combined with sealing of the records. Let them know where you stand. Trust me, they're listening right now. They're listening right now to you. They're seeing what you're typing. So make it loud and clear. We want transparency. We deserve transparency. I always say elections have consequences. This whole issue here was not done overnight. This was decades in the making. This whole issue was decades in the making. The misdoings of all in this city that are responsible for what Mr. Scafe found, they should all be held accountable, whether they're here now or not. Way to break it up there, Roger. What does that mean, Linda? Kevin said they were all going to be starting with the last one. I don't know what that means. If you could explain that, just clarify that. But again, if you want to talk about this, always more than welcome to call in 203-679-9610, or you can email us straighttalkjv@gmail.com. So if you want to get in and have a view on this, I'm always more than happy to listen. Yeah, listen, there's no way they're going to hold themselves accountable. I say that about any government. Listen, they're never going to sit there and try to, constrict their own power. Oh, they're listening. I know they're listening, Roger. I've been told by many that they are listening to the show, and that's good. And they might not be on it right now, but they'll be watching it later on. So make sure you do write your counselors, and make sure you let them know what's going on and where you stand on the issue. But this man cannot be forgotten. Like I said, I will not let him be forgotten. This is my hero here in Meriden. If someone asked me who's your favorite person that was ever in Meriden, Mr. Scafe. The short time he was here, which he literally bought a house here. In fact, he lived right around the corner from me. He bought one over on Cobblestone when he got the job here. So, and I don't even think our current city manager has bought a house yet. I think he rents here. I think he rents over on Pleasant. I think he still lives in Glastonbury. But this man right here that you're seeing on that screen, that man is my hero. I love him. I respect him. He has done a lot for the city, more than he'll ever know. He's done more in the city than he'll ever know. Whether or not we get to see exactly how much he did, that's up to your council members tomorrow night. So I will be making sure I send my email out tonight. Make sure my counselors, all the counselors, know where I stand on it. In fact, I guess I don't even really have to because they're listening here. But we're going to find out where the rubber meets the road, where each one of these counselors stand on transparency. Because none of them could turn around and say, well, it was all part of a package deal. You have the right to amend it. And if they're trying to seal the records as part of this deal, you have an obligation to put an amendment out there to make sure there are two different votes. One on the sealing of the records, and two on the payout itself. And like I said, the payout itself, at this point, fine. I mean, Mr. Scafe has already moved to Iowa and already has another job. I wish that we could steal him and bring him back here and let him finish what he started. I wish we could bring him back to let him finish what he started. But realistically, we know that's not going to happen. Yes, but this is a special city council meeting, Linda. So you know they can always play on words. So this is a special meeting. So they're exempt. They're probably exempt from it, and that's probably the excuse they'll use. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's what they do during this meeting is what matters, and what should matter to each and every one of you. Let's stand up and do what's right. Say, all right, pay this man his money, which he rightfully deserves, and you give us the records and let us read them. Then, and only then, can we all put this behind us and move forward together. Even though they don't want us moving forward together for anything. This city council has done nothing but try to divide the people of Meriden. And this is just another thing they're going to do. This is how they're going to do it. They're going to try to divide us even more. They're going to make this into a Republican-Democrat thing. And that's fine if that's how they want to do it. All right, on this issue here, you want to make this a Democrat-Republican issue? I'm all for that. Because I tell you what, me as a conservative, I want transparency. I want complete transparency. Because I don't trust government at all. I don't trust any of them. I don't care what party you're part of. That's just me. I don't trust anybody. So maybe that's a flaw of mine, but I think it's a blessing of mine also. I trust but verify. How about that? I trust but verify. You tell me what you're going to do. I believe that's what you're going to do, but I want to see it for myself. That's why I want to read these briefs. I want to read the pre-trials of each side. What are the specific claims? What are the specific claims that you are making against each other? Why would that be something that would be held secret? He's accusing you of something, and I would think as a council person or as someone within the city, if you believe deep down that you are right, then you should have no problem releasing them. Because I would think you want to clarify, you want to clear your name. You want the people to say, hey, look, no, he's full of crap. Here is our response. Here's what he was accusing us of, but here's our response to it. I would think that'd be the logical thing. I know if someone accused me of something, I'd put it out there and be like, no, this is what really happened. But will that come? Will that come to fruition this week? Tomorrow. I have a lot of libertarian views there, Roger. A lot of them. So, yeah, well, listen, they're always looking to divide. The Democrats love identity politics. But even some Republicans like identity politics too. They do it more on a religion side. But Democrats, especially right now, in the day of all this racial justice crap, like I said, a lot of the city councilors love to divide us. And that's what they're trying to do. I think it's going to backfire on them, as I said for previous shows. It's going to backfire. I think this is going to backfire on them. I think if they try to hold this from the people, they try to hide it from us, I think you're going to see a very big backlash to it. Especially since when they find out how much money this is actually going to cost. And I'm hoping the city council, and I'm going to ask the question, I want everything. I want how much is the city paying for everything? How much did this cost us? Lawyer fees for, like I said, we have an outside firm handling this from Hartford that have been on this for years, so you can only imagine how much money. They're not cheap. How much his attorneys, Mr. Scafe's attorney, is going to cost us, and then the actual payout on what they're going to pay out. I say $2 million. This whole event has cost us $2 million, and we've received nothing for it other than a bill. No info, just a bill for services rendered. But so again, I hope to see everybody tomorrow night. I know I will be there. I will be on, and I will be making my statements. So I hope you guys are all on there too. Make sure you spread the word and make sure we share that link everywhere. Make sure everybody is on it and make sure everybody that you know. Again, I talk about your circle of influence. This is the time to use that circle of influence that you have and making sure people understand what's at stake here. Making sure people understand what's at stake here. They need to write their counselors. They need to be on that meeting tomorrow night and expressing their opinions. So make sure you do that. Share the links. Make sure you help them get on there if they need help. But make sure as many people as they possibly can could attend it. Because it's extremely important. We'll talk more about this on Wednesday. Again, we will have our next show will be on Wednesday instead of Thursday. Thursday, I have a previous engagement down in New Haven. So I have that to attend. So we will do a show on Wednesday. We will recap what happens tomorrow. And we will talk about what we do moving forward on it. And we'll know more about that once we have the vote. So we'll talk about this on Wednesday, not Thursday, on Wednesday, September 1st. September 1st is our next show at 7 o'clock. And we'll go through this again, like I said. And then Friday, I am gone there, Roger. Sorry. Right on Friday night, I head out to the Cape for my cousin's wedding. So the crazy lunatic that he is getting married. But good for him. So he has gotten me to leave the state of Connecticut, which I don't do very often anymore. So I will be heading to Massachusetts on Friday for the wedding. So we'll do a show here on Wednesday, and there will be no show next Sunday because Sunday I'll still be in the Cape, and I don't think you guys want me doing a live broadcast from the Cape with me overlooking the beach. So we'll pick up again after Wednesday on the following Thursday, back to normal. So I thank you guys all. We're going to end this a little short today. I thank you guys all for joining on. Again, make sure you are on that meeting tomorrow night. I can't express it enough. Straight Talk on location. Maybe someday. We do have the capabilities of doing it. Whether or not we do it somewhere, we probably will in the upcoming months. Do some location stuff with some candidates. Maybe I think we're going to end up doing a town hall pretty soon with all the candidates that want to be there. I think we're going to do a town hall where you can come, ask the questions you want to ask to the candidates that want to participate. And it'd be a great way for you guys to all meet the candidates and hear about what they have to say, especially if you can't get out there and actually talk to them. So your voice will be a choice. That's absolutely true. So make sure I see you guys all tomorrow night. Like I said, we'll meet again here on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. I'll be sending out the reminder as we always do. So until then, Gail, if you don't see the link, Linda, can you just post it up there again? Or you can find it on the City of page. I'll also post it on the Straight Talk page for you guys so you guys can see it there. But until then, guys, we'll see you Wednesday. Hopefully I'll see most of you tomorrow. But as always, I love you guys. And keep up the good fight. We have a long way to go. We have a lot to do. So let's make sure we stick together, we do it, and help each other out. I love you. God bless you. And God bless this great city of ours. And God bless this amazing country that we have. It's something we hold dear. We have freedoms for a reason. Again, say a prayer for the 22, for any fallen soldier over the last couple of days that has happened. It's been a crazy time lately. And we got to give thanks to every man and woman in uniform around the world. So we love them. God bless them. And God bless this great United States of America. Guys, I will see you on Wednesday. Good night. God bless. And I will check you out later. Thanks.
And a million faces formed together, made for elevation. And the soldier won't surrender faith. It's like a fire that never bursts to embers. The voice of the unheard. Love is the answer.
I gotta speak it, believe it, that's how I feel inside.
I can't sit here quiet.
You can take my heart, you can take my breath. When you pry it from my cold dead chest.
This is how we rise up. Heavy as a hurricane, louder than a freight train. This is how we rise up. Heart is beating faster, feels like thunder. Magic static, call me a fanatic. It's our world, they can never have it. This is how we rise up. It's our resistance, you can't resist us. Can you hear me? Are you listening? Sleeping and the shadows could be making history.